What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we got Shifty Adam Schiff in full panic mode after a whistleblower just came forth with new bombshell evidence proving that Adam Schiff leaked classified information in order to try to attempt to harm President Donald Trump, guys. And I'm excited to get to this one, so we're gonna hop straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
The Democrat whistleblower has told the FBI that then Congressman Adam Schiff approved leaking classified information in order to discredit President Trump, and the White House is giving its first reaction.
The president has already said he wants to see Adam Schiff held accountable for the countless lies he told the American people in relation to the Russiagate scandal. I have a quote from the FBI director. For years, certain officials used their positions to selectively leak classified information to shape political narratives. It was all done with one purpose: to weaponize intelligence and law enforcement for political gain. Those abuses eroded public trust in our institutions. The FBI will now lead the charge with our partners at DOJ and Congress.
Newly released FBI memos, by the way, obtained by Fox, show a Democrat whistleblower who's accusing Adam Schiff of greenlighting a leak of classified information in order to damage Trump during the Russiagate investigation. The source recalled the following. In the meeting, Schiff stated the group would leak classified information which was derogatory to President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Schiff stated the information would be used to indict President Trump. Someone stated this would be illegal, and upon hearing his concerns, an unnamed member of the meeting reassured that certain someone they would not be caught leaking classified information. No way they're ever going to get caught. Whoops. FBI Director Kash Patel posted, "We found it. We declassified it. Now Congress can see how classified info was leaked to shape political narratives and decide if our institutions were weaponized against the American people." Schiff is saying, no, wait a minute. I'm not guilty of leaking classified information. Those baseless smears are based on allegations that were found to be not reliable, not credible, and unsubstantiated from a disgruntled former staffer who was fired by the House Intel Committee for cause in 2017, including for harassment and potentially compromising activity on official travel for the committee. You want me to think about official travel for the committee when I'm sitting here concerned about you leaking classified information? Joining me now, George Washington University law professor and Fox News contributor, Jonathan Turley. Professor, it's great to see you here today. Leaking classified information, that's a potentially very serious charge, is it not?
It doesn't get much more serious than that. The chairman of the House Intel Committee doesn't have declassification authority over these types of documents. They are made available to Congress under very tightly controlled rules. This has been a source of tension for years. And members of both parties have gone out of their way to assure that this material would be closely held and not weaponized. Schiff was viewed as one of the most political chairs of that committee in its history. And this is a truly chilling account, if true. Now, when I first read it, frankly, I was taken aback because it's perfectly moronic to commit such a felony with a planning conference meeting with staff. That's not usually how things are leaked in Washington, D.C. What makes this different, Will, is that this was a statement made to FBI agents. The person who made this statement was no doubt aware that lying to FBI agents is not just a crime, but a crime that was repeatedly prosecuted during prior administrations, including the Obama and Biden administrations.
Right.
So making this statement puts you at risk. That's why someone's lying here and someone's a felon.
Okay, well, let's just for a moment hypothetically take this whistleblower at their word. Let's assume for a moment that it's true, Professor. What kind of punishment follows for leaking classified information?
Well, this is a very significant punishment. You can have, in addition to having multiple counts, you can easily go 10 years in terms of a sentence, if not more, depending on the circumstances and the number of violations. Each of these leaks is an individual violation. Each of these documents would likely be charged as a violation. That type of count stacking is precisely what Mueller and others did. Remember, these are these are very similar to the types of claims made against Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago, that he removed material and improperly stored them. There were also allegations that he might have revealed them to third parties. But this is much more serious in one sense. Trump was accused of negligence in most of these counts. This would be a premeditated criminal act to release classified information to damage one's political opponents.
Wow, guys, now we have a whistleblower coming forth exposing Adam Schiff for conspiring to leak classified information to try and harm President Donald Trump, and Adam Schiff's response is typical Democratic fashion. This is all baseless. All the allegations hold no merit. This was a disgruntled employee that was fired is what Adam Schiff is claiming. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to get him off the hook. And we also have America First Patriot Jim Jordan now coming out, pointing out the pattern, the trend of the corruption of Adam Schiff. Check him out.
I hope the whistleblower will come forward and talk to our staff. We've dealt with whistleblowers, several, dozens over the last several years. I hope he'll come forward and we can talk to him. We can evaluate that. But what I do know is whether this guy's credible or not. It seems to me he is. And the main reason I believe he's probably credible is this is their pattern. They did it all along. They were leaking information to friendly news outlets to further this false narrative that somehow President Trump was working with the Russians and the election was compromised. It's all baloney. We've had countless investigations, the Durham report, the Mueller report, all these things that said that was garbage. And then, of course, we had the information that Tulsi just released, ODNI Director Gabbard just released 3 weeks ago that showed what they were doing, where they changed the intelligence community assessment. So
right.
This has been the pattern. So it fits with what they've been doing, which I think lends credibility to this whistleblower. But I hope he comes forward and will talk to us. And then we also need to find out why Chris Wray kept this information from us or didn't give it to us as Director Patel has.
Indeed.
One other thing that I do think is
okay.
Well, I was just going to say one other thing that I think is critically important is remember what they did to Chairman Nunes. Mm-hmm. They accused him of doing this when he didn't. They accused him of the very thing that they did, according to this whistleblower. Typical left operation. Always accuse us of what they're actually doing.
We call that
Devin was proven right all along, and so was Cash.
Yeah, we call that projection. It's also amazing that apparently Senator Adam Schiff had ambitions to be the CIA director should Hillary Clinton have won that election, which is absolutely crazy.
This is a very long piece that you have here.
Yeah.
It is a worthwhile read. I'll let you sum it up, and then I want your conclusion on what you're finding here, because to me it's very damning.
Well, what you find out is that James Comey decided not to work through the FBI press office when he wanted to change the narrative in Washington, burnish his reputation against attacks from Democrats and try to sully Donald Trump's reputation. If you remember, Democrats were mad that James Comey let out of the bag just before the election that there might be some new evidence in the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Hillary blamed Comey for throwing the election. She blamed the Russians for throwing the election. She blamed everybody but herself for throwing the election for her. But Comey was trying to rehabilitate that. And so he had an intermediary, a Columbia law professor by the name of Daniel Richman, who the FBI confirmed and interviewed. And Richman said, yes, I used my relationship with a New York Times reporter named Michael Schmidt. He's one of the authors of the Pulitzer Prize winning package that President Trump is now suing over. And my goal was to improve negative stories about James Comey and to set a narrative, i.e. set the Russia collusion narrative. This guy worked around the official channels of the FBI press office. And at one point, the FBI noted, you met with James Comey. He gave you access to classified information. A short while later, you had a conversation with that New York Times reporter, and he ends up reporting something that appears to be classified. Did you do it? And he gives, I think, perhaps the most famous denial People will remember, since Bill Clinton says it depends what the meaning of the word is when he tried to obfuscate whether he had an affair with Monica Lewinsky, he says, I can say, I don't think I confirmed the information. I can say with a discount that I didn't give him the classified information. With a discount means you got to give me some room. It's an extraordinary moment. The FBI clearly had strong suspicions that this was a potential backdoor for information, maybe classified information, to get out to the media with James Comey's fingerprints on it. And they didn't go much further. They didn't put Comey before the grand jury, that we can tell. They didn't appear to put this gentleman, Daniel Richmond, before the grand jury. And like Adam Schiff, as we told you last night, here they have an eyewitness whistleblower said, I was in the room when he authorized leaks of intel. These end up being a dead end again. And it's another reminder of a dual system of justice that the Justice Department had the last 6 years. These are documents that were never given to Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan confirmed that to me today. And we're just learning 8 years later, because of what Kash Patel turned over, that the FBI had all the evidence of how the false narrative of Russia collusion was spread across this country to the detriment of voters, to the detriment of President Trump's first campaign, and they did nothing about it.
It's a credit to the FBI. It's a credit to Kash Patel. It's a credit to the people that are involved in sharing this information now with the public. Do you see legal jeopardy here?
I think if Pam Bondi goes the grand jury route, that these are people that are going to be hauled before the grand jury. I want to remind people, most classified information statutes have a 5-year statute of limitations, but there is a provision that extends it to 10 years if it's willing and knowing. And there is some pretty clear evidence of a strong apparatus put in place to make these leaks occur, according to the FBI documents. I think a grand jury could go back and try to compel testimony and find out if it rises to the level of criminality. Tomorrow, though, I think we're going to take people on a new destination, which is how often did the FBI get blocked in trying to investigate Hillary Clinton corruption at the Clinton Foundation? You're going to be shocked by the answer.
All right, guys, so we had to lay the groundwork. Tons of information right there. So not only are we starting to see the pattern of corruption for these loonies on the left, we're seeing direct implication of James Comey. This whistleblower testimony means a lot. I mean, it kind of just puts the pieces of the puzzle together, where you're seeing that James Comey was willing to do whatever it took to try to come after and take down President Donald Trump. We got John Solomon also summarizing the whole bombshell, saying that James Comey's leak of classified information to the New York Times could be criminal. He could be facing up to 5 to 10 years, and I've heard others say that he could be facing up to 20. We'll cover that later on in this one. And with all this new evidence breaking, Judge Jeanine have to now investigate Adam Schiff. I've got a really good feeling that Adam Schiff's going to regret talking to Judge Jeanine like he did during her confirmation. I want to give you guys a refresher how he came after Judge Jeanine.
I mean, even her own people on Fox thought she couldn't be trusted to be on TV, on their own network. And after the show was briefly taken off the air, Fox News producer Justin Wells described, they took her off because she was crazy. Optics are bad, but she's crazy. Well, her own executive producer also described her as nuts. Are we going to put someone that even Fox, and I'm not a particular fan of Fox, but even Fox thought was crazy, nuts, couldn't be trusted on live television? We're going to trust her with the lives and liberty of people in the District of Columbia?
Another one of those typical tactics from these loonies on the left. It's projection 101. Adam Schiff, James Comey, Hillary Clinton, Obama, they all should be worried. These bombshells are damning. And now we've got White House advisor Stephen Miller coming to the talks. He's absolutely going in on Adam Schiff and his corruption. He explains it very clearly.
Adam Schiff is not only a stone cold, hopeless loser, but he is one of the most corrupt, one of the most shameful, one of the most heinous individuals ever to serve in public office in America. And everything he's devoted his life to has been debunked, discredited, and discarded. He literally represents the face of failure. His sole achievement in life was fighting a losing war against Donald Trump, and now President Trump is in the White House, and Adam Schiff is the leader of a dying and dethroned movement. This is, I mean, it really is amazing. Think about what the Democrat Party is fighting against.
Wow, Stephen Miller does not hold back. And I mean, he's hitting the nail on the head. He's saying this guy is a stone cold, hopeless loser, the face of failure. President Trump also took and chimed in, jumping in, saying on Truth Social that just out, irrefutable proof that Adam Schiff approved plan to leak classified information to damage Donald Trump. So we can see that Adam Schiff is cooked. I mean, once the president's tweeting out stuff like this, evidence on you, you just know they're not going to let this one fade off into the shadows or be swept underneath the rug. No, they're going to come after you. It's time for this guy to finally face the music. We got Trump continuing on in a press conference, also saying that Pam Bondi is now going to do something about it. She's going to get involved, get hands-on in this situation. I want you guys to see this.
With them great, actually. We had the Russia. I had to go through the Russia hoax, and it was a strain on the relationship. I actually told them. I said, you know, they got this phony investigation going on, Russia, totally phony, created by Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and Hillary Clinton and the whole group of them. And it made it very dangerous for our country because I was unable to really deal with Russia the way we should have been. I'm looking at Pam because I hope something's going to be done about it. These people put our country at great danger. And Adam Schiff, it was all made up. It was a hoax. The Mueller report came out. They all hated me. They had 18 Trump haters. And they said I did nothing wrong. They couldn't believe, they couldn't find anything after years of investigation. It was all a hoax. It was a hoax created by the Democrats, but in particular Schiff and Crooked Hillary, the whole group. And now we've learned all the stuff that's come out over the last 2 months is incredible through intelligence. And hopefully something's going to happen with it. These are people that put our country in danger, in real danger. I want to thank you all very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so it sounds like President Donald Trump is tired of things just coming to light or being exposed. He wants there to be some accountability, some action behind it. Now he's instructing Pam Bondi to be hot on the case. I'm really excited to see where this one progresses to. We also have former U.S. Attorney Brett Tolman saying that Schiff could potentially be facing that 20 years in prison that I was speaking about earlier and up to $250,000 for every leak that he is charged for. Check this out.
Yeah, I mean, the fine is up to $250,000 for every leak that's charged. So it depends on the counts in the indictment. Also, keep in mind, some of the punishment hinges on the purpose that the classified leak or the possession of classified documentation illegally. So the purpose becomes very important. If you'll recall, Comey, when he said no prosecutor would prosecute Hillary Clinton for having classified information, I mean, it was just an outright lie. But there was always this question, this debate. What was the purpose of it? Was it just sloppiness? Same with Joe Biden. Was it sloppiness that he had all of these, that he used the classified documents to write his memoirs? Was there anything truly nefarious about it? And there was some analysis of Donald Trump. But with President Trump, it was just, you had him, we're going to go after you because that's how we're going to apply the law. But in reality, you have to look at the purpose to see whether or not there are aggravating factors. Here, I believe this was, in essence, the beginning of a conspiracy to take down a president, to impact his ability to lead. There are other statutes, conspiracy statutes, interference with, official proceedings, et cetera. There's question. A lot of people have question about treason. Is it treason? You probably don't satisfy the elements for treason, but there are some related crimes that could come into play. And if you found that the individual was doing it in an effort to undermine the United States, you're looking at potential penalties of up to 20 years in federal prison.
Wow, guys, talk about a bombshell. Adam Schiff now facing up to 20 years in federal prison. And on top of that, this guy could potentially be going bankrupt with that $250,000 fine per charge he is found guilty on. Oh my goodness. And I just want to leave you guys here with this clip showing this is not the end, but the beginning for old shifty Adam Schiff.
Any response? Senator, why did you decide to make your primary residence in Maryland for 10 years, for a decade, not California? Any comment on Trump accusing you of mortgage fraud, sir? Any response?
United States.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Talk about a bombshell update. I told you guys on the front half that this thing was huge. Now we're seeing the walls are finally closing in for Shifty Adam Schiff, as he is now facing up to 20 years in federal prison for his crimes, trying to leak classified information in order to damage President Donald Trump, which he failed miserably at. I mean, these guys attempted to take down President Donald Trump, but he was resilient and he overcame all those obstacles, all those hurdles. And this is just tip of the iceberg with Adam Schiff finally being held accountable for all of his crimes. I mean, we have to look back on him classifying that Maryland property as his primary residence to obtain more favorable loans, all the while living in California, claiming that is his principal residence as well. This guy is a corrupt and crooked figure, and his time has finally come. What's that saying? No one is above the law, and they're quickly find that out for these folks on the left. I'm really excited to see what the DOJ, Pam Bondi, decides to do moving forward with this situation. I'll be covering any updates to come right here with your boy RetroStef, guys, but definitely hop in that comment section. Comments are open, and I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.